What did you do
Well,
then?
I was going to work for myself then. That's absolutely what was going to happen. And randomly, there was a job at, at Glyndwr at Wrexham University advertised for social work lecturing, and I'd already been doing a lot of it by then. I was halfway through my PhD. And I got that job. I was a bit surprised I got that job, actually. There were several people with much bigger academic CVs than me. The guy that gave me the job, Chris, said, well, that's because you've got more potential than them, and/or they were already radical in their social work department then. And I was also interviewed by a couple of service users, and apparently that also helped seal some of the votes. So I take my hat off to them. I obviously, great. Basically, I was really lucky. I was going to go it alone at that point in time, and do mixtures of just continue to do my PhD part-time and fund it through any combination of agency, social work or consultancy I could get hold of, and just finish the PhD first and then see what happens. But yeah, so it was, very interesting experience. And of course, as you say, there's a whole other stuff in that journey, because I step into all of this business with David Best and others, and we do the Recovery Academy, we do our North Wales stuff, and I start working with Ben at Channel, and we start doing the service user groups. There's all of that other stuff that's going on, and that's the stuff that carried with me after I left. And it was like the last 14 odd years, I've got to do all the really interesting stuff and leave the shit stuff behind in a way. I'm not dealing with all that contract stuff. I'm not dealing with the strategic conversations where people are, bum fighting over the commissioning cash and aren't prepared to give up some cash to invest, or any of that sort of stuff, And I've got the privilege now, of course, as a researcher, of just critically evaluating it from the outside, which is much nicer. But and that doesn't mean it isn't hard work being stuck inside it, but it wore me out.
Yeah, no, I can well understand. Yeah. So that's 2000.
You said the other thing that's gone in it, of course, is by 2010, there is a degree in which my practitioner currency begins to run out as well. This is probably really important. We started talking about my own direct experience. By 2010, my direct experience is 14, 15 years old. You've got to be a different type of worker in that space. You can't sit in a space after 20 years and go to someone and go, when I used to use drugs, because that person in front of you knows it's a different world. You're either coming in, you come in, you've either got to reframe yourself in those conversations, you remove yourself from that conversation into management or whatever else, or supervision. It's what lots of different people do, but you can't stay in that same place all that same time unless you're living and breathing right at the core of a practitioner-based experience. Yes, so I think people can do it if they remain exclusively a key worker or caseworker, but once you start to move away from it, also your currency runs out. This is very important.